To introduce the next speaker.
So this is the worst session because it's after a great morning session and it's after a heavy lunch. So we're going to try and not put you to sleep. So let me start by asking a question. We're actually going to do an activity. The organizers don't know yet, but we're going to do an activity. So how many of you have used a hula hoop? A few old people I see, no new Gen, ABC, X, Y, Z, no hula hoop. Okay, how many have heard of a hula hoop? Okay, that's better. How many are willing to come on stage and do a demo of a hula hoop? No? Oh, sorry, we're not allowed. I've been told we're not allowed. So no hula hoop, sorry. I know you were wanting to come. Anyway, so on a more serious note, how many of you are fed up of hearing about AI? Oh, some people are. Oh, well, sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. This session is all about AI. I thought no one would raise their hand. Anyway. So, so this is more about AI. It's about AI. It's about Gen AI. It's about using, sorry. You have to now make up. The speaker is standing over there asking me, why am I saying all this? So, about using AI for creativity, for brand building, and for creating change. When I was asked to actually introduce this speaker, I asked for some bio data or some YouTube links or whatever it is, LinkedIn profile, and many things struck me, but the thing that struck me the most was hula hoops. So actually, if you go to his YouTube channel, which please do tell everyone about it later, you'll see him dancing, exercising in hula hoops, but actually taking it to the next level, which is really using weight training and cardio and hula hoops to kind of, and I heard that there's something called the Hula Hoops Association of India now, of which he's a member, and you better connect with him during the dinner today if he's still here. But apart from working out, he also works, and as far as his work is concerned, okay, yeah, that's him. As far as his work is concerned, Niraj Ruparel, as far as his work is concerned, he's a living example of how humans and machines can collaborate to boost productivity and creativity. In fact, I was told by the committee that he did not want to come, and he instead wanted to send his avatar here. But the bandwidth at Taj is not fast enough, so we had to force him to come in person, fortunately. So he's here. He's known for his groundbreaking work across voice, mobile, and digital platforms, earning accolades across marketing and advertising. He is chairing the tech section at the Abby's Awards for those in advertising. That's the premier awards in India for advertising. He's been featured in Campaign Asia's Top 40. He's been contributing to Metaverse, all of that good stuff. At WPP, he and his team have been crafting groundbreaking campaigns by blending creativity and tech. And we're going to hear directly from Niraj now. How they are empowering 1 billion Indians to creatively charge solutions that are affecting our lives. And that's the topic for today. So with that, Niraj.
All right, thank you for that fabulous, I almost felt like I'm in a fitness conference. But thank you so much for that. So that's exactly what I do. I blend the power of creativity and technology and create sci-fi solutions for modern day marketing. And what's really worked for us, if you would have met me a couple of years back, my designation was emerging technologies, which is now changed to creative technologist, which is guys who can actually think creatively or collaborate internally, externally with creative folks and with the technology partners and blend it and understand the brand's problem statement and create solutions out there. That's what guys like me do. So when there are two worlds which exist here, creative world and technology world, if you collide with both of them, when they collide, they create mind-blowing solutions. And me and my 150-member community and team at WPP, which cuts across our operating companies, I get to work with some really talented people, whether these are creative guys or data scientists or research guys. I mean, Puneet is also there in the room. We've collaborated on multiple projects. So we work and we run collaboration internally as well as externally to deliver these campaigns. Let me now give you a very interesting use case, my first use case. And like you rightly said, typically when I walk into the stage, it's a lot of tech which is around me, whether it's QR code, sensors on my body, top CMOs walking in with me, and we're trying and creating an experience out there for an audience, and we get the CMOs to give a perspective that how this can be typically deployed, right? And exactly similar what I did at a tech munch, a tech conference, where me and Amit Doshi, CMO of Britannia, I got him on a Beambox. So he was in Bangalore, Sunita Bangar from ABG, she was in Delhi, and I placed a box here, and like a magician, they popped in, and we were having a conversation on holograms. And Amit made a very interesting statement saying that how celebrities in future would have holograms which can pop in various places, and they'll be able to answer questions in runtime. So a single comms can now become a multi-comms in various homes, right? And these celebrities would drive that using the power of AI and creative AI, as we call it. And that actually happened with Ravi Shastri. We answered, we created some interesting comms or communications with consumers, 50,000 plus, right? So it's going to be more like storytelling and some boring AVs. I call AVs boring because I have evolved and I've moved into this immersive world. So let's just start with this first use case. You guys are going to love this. This is pre-GPT era. When there was no chat GPT, we guys were like pretty much old school when it comes to our marketing efforts. And I still remember Mukund, the chief creative officer at VML, him and me, we were jamming, and he's like, oh, what's up? I said, I'm just working on this entire AI wave, which is going to kick in. At those days, I had created my own clone with 10 hours of script reading. So I should read the script for 10 hours and then have my clone and go to top celebrities in India and tell them, this is what I'm excited about. In future, you will see these clones popping in, riding on top of MarTech stack. And as we speak today, brands like Biko and Diya Mirza sitting on top of MarTech stack and selling content out there, right? 2.5 years back when I used to go and fire this content on WhatsApp to our leadership.
Super. So this particular use case was in the pre-GPT era, where a very, very talented sci-fi colleague of mine who loves technology, him and me, we were jamming on a insurance comms. And he tells me, Niraj, I want to build a very, very progressive comms for our client, Aegis Federal, where I don't want to typically scare and consumers saying, buy insurance or you can die, right? I want to sell insurance in a way where I'll say that prep for your future. Don't get scared of your future, right? And he had Sachin Tendulkar, the legendary Sachin, with him. And we were discussing, and he said, if Sachin goes young and talks about when I was young and I prepped for my future, and that's the secret to my success, the comms would be very, very hard-hitting and resonating. And this is the use case which came out of that collaboration or conversation or two worlds coming together, right? Go for it.
Equivalent of Pele for the soccer world. Adults idolize him. Every kid aspires to be like him, to pursue their dreams, be it sports or any other passions. But most Indian parents drive their kids to focus on purely academics in the fear of their children's future. At Aegis Federal Life Insurance, we know that with the right insurance plan, every kid can pursue their dreams fearlessly like Sachin did. And they got to hear it from Sachin himself, the 11-year-old Sachin who had a dream and stuck with it. To bring young Sachin to life, we leveraged deepfake learning technology to de-age a human by 35 years for the first time.
We knew that recreating young Sachin would be a challenge because of the few sources that we had at this age, because of the lack of resolution. In this production, we used many techniques, not only deepfake. We shot also material from the original Sachin, 3D modeling of the head, to be able to transfer details from the real actor.
We also de-aged his current voice to sound like a child.
Why does everyone keep talking about the future? इतना डरते क्यों हैं लोग फ्यूचर से? टीचर ने बोला मैथ्स नहीं पढ़ोगे.
Launched on TV, digital and social platforms, the media and people in India responded. And even Sachin himself.
This has to be 38 years back.
Don't fear the future. Prepare for it. With a range of life insurance plans from Aegis
Super.
Life Insurance.
Nice one.
So how was it? Super, right? This was, okay, I'm getting some claps, so let's just go for it, like do it in full capacity, yeah? All right, this was like one of the early ones, and now you will see the evolution, how AI kicked in and how characters are now connected to LLMs or ChatGPT kind of models and are trained on top of brand guidelines. So suddenly you are seeing these boring characters who were just greeting you are now talking a lot of brand stuff, brand comms, right? So we'll take it a bit ahead and just spend time on this landscape, which is super critical. I think I spent some time for this audience here. Typically, I talk to a lot of developer communities and the CMO communities and talk about what's in it for marketing. But for this community, I thought I'll just break it down. And this goes with my topic, which is 1 billion Indians, right? As we see, India has about 1 billion people who are connected on mobility. These guys are eventually connecting to some level of bandwidth to make a connect to the external world, right? So we are seeing as still 350 million people who are on dumb phones in India. So those guys are connecting to the 2G dirt roads, as I say, right? Can you still go out there, use the power of creativity and technology and deploy campaigns? The answer is a big yes. How do you do that? We'll get to see that. One of the most fascinating ones is the current campaign which we rolled out. I think the PR is going to be out pretty soon for Britannia Milk Bikkies, where we rendered or created an AI model of Pankaj Tripathi, who's super duper popular in UP. And we took his voice to UP on a 100 rupee phone, a $1 phone, and we are now, AI is engaging with audiences out there, right? It's mind blowing in terms of how the evolution has kicked in. So these 1 billion people are either connecting through some level of bandwidth or these, like you were saying, like the ABC, Zen Alpha kids, the kids who are born with iPads, 2010 and upwards, right? The screen generation, as we call it. They are pretty much getting raised on these platforms like Roblox and Minecraft. But eventually they are connecting to a bandwidth, which is 5G or the broadband fibers, right? So as we speak, there are 200 million people who have upgraded to 5G superhighways. So the modern day marketing has to change because 5G is not here to watch videos. At 10 Mbps, we watched a lot of videos out there, right? Netflix binge watching. But as the speeds go up, if there are 200 million people who are walking with 200 Mbps and 1000 Mbps, how would modern marketing look like? Which is going to be an absolute immersion, is something we will talk about with some use cases. So modern day marketing with speeds is going to be some heavy lifting on computing, which is what we keep saying. 5G is not here to watch videos. 5G is here to do some heavy lifting on computing, and that's what we will do to elevate consumer experiences who are moving on these super highways of 5G, right? So to break it down, if 2G was about text, 3G was about images, 4G was about videos, which lasted the longest. We are now moving into 5G revolution, which is monumental for all of us. A lot of us back in college were just waiting for it, that we are watching Iron Man. Can that really happen to us? It's going to happen to our consumers because the limiting factor, the speed, is being taken care of. Networks are elevated, and you can do mind-blowing, immersive storytelling in this world. And creativity is the key, right? Tech stack is available in abundance. Creativity is going to be the key for us to play on 5G superhighways, right? Let's just go next and see this. This is my first man-machine conference. I'm crazy about man-machine conference and how man-machines can come together and relay an experiences like never before. So in one of the voice conference, I decided to run a fireside chat with Google and Alexa. So in those days, we used to sit and code or create skills on Alexa and Google, right? We used to code a lot of stuff and then go out there, use the functionalities of Alexa. Alexa has got this very cute functionality called whisper mode. So I pointed a question at Alexa and I said, Alexa, how can we use your services in rural India? Alexa sleeps into whisper mode and says, maybe you should be asking this question to Google. And there goes Google. Google starts talking, right? For me to do that, took me 1 month to create those skills, get these two devices to talk to each other. And look at the evolution right now. If you guys saw the ChatGPT and the 4.0 axis, it's pretty much like sonic characters which are popping in, understanding your emotions, dialect, diction, the entire speech stack. It's talking to the voice and vision stack, and you are able to do so much out there, right? That's what the world is moving towards. And if I see my journey in this particular scheme of things, I remember, let's take it from 2010. Government launched a program called Kilkari. When a mother gets a baby, government collects the mobile number and they start seeding a lot of health and hygiene information, right? That was a one-way interactive voice service platform, as we call it. Then came KKT, which is Kan Khajuratation in 2023. A lot of you guys must have worked from the research standpoint, right? So we worked a lot hard in terms of building those tech stacks, which was more like a jukebox, which took the mainstream radio head-on, and we clocked a number about 60 million those days, right? From there, we moved. So that particular phase was a DTMF phase, dual tone, multiple frequency, nothing but an IVR's capability to press a key and have a conversation with those IVRs, right? From there, we started building platforms which are running on speech. Look at Pocket Dentist of Colgate. Yeah? Dato mein sadan, it picks up a keyword and throws an output back, right? From there, the entire speech stack got elevated. So look at Axis Bank and the helpline. Mujhe account kholna hai. The system understands the guy needs to open an account, helps you, maneuvers you, and takes you to the final destination out there, right? And that is what we have used consistently on a lot of our platforms. But now this entire journey is going to become more stickier, meatier with platforms like ChatGPT, and these celeb characters, like the sonic character of Pankaj is what we created for this particular campaign. I'll just give you a flavor of this particular campaign. We have not shot with Pankaj, but we have gone through all the legal rounds with him in terms of what content we'll curate. And one of the first campaigns, which is live as we speak, is our ability to now get Pankaj's AI engineer model to speak to masses in rural India in various languages and so many dialects. India has 22 languages and 780 dialects out there, right? So it's very important to crack those dialects, create a sonic identity of a celebrity, and then run a communication out there. So let's just see a very, very quick prototype of this.
पापा त्रिपाठी का प्रतापगढ़ को सलाम, पापा त्रिपाठी का आजमगढ़ को सलाम, बलिया को नमस्कार, मिर्जापुर को नमस्कार, इलाहाबाद को नमस्कार, फतेहपुर को पापा त्रिपाठी का प्रणाम, वाराणसी को पापा त्रिपाठी का प्रणाम.
You got it, right? So we can actually clone a celeb, and what we are doing in this case is we are doing speech to speech. So we are getting a voiceover artist who can actually use a lot of dialects for these markets, like biscuit, blah, blah, and then mashing it on top of Pankaj's AI clone and then creating comms out there. Then getting the same AI on an audio conference bridge. So even if you are on a $1 phone, you can get into an audio conference bridge after having a long sustained communication with Pankaj. On a bridge, you can ask him anything. You are pretty much live with his AI, and you're asking questions and he's answering back. So that's the level of deployment where we are moving towards when it comes to the bottom of the pyramid, those 350 million people who are still on drop-dead dumb phones, as we call it. So you've got to think smart solutions for dumb phone. In the past, we have done some mind-blowing campaigns. If you've seen this campaign called Godrej Ki Pathshala for 1 rupee fast cards, that was so beautifully done because the insight which we gathered from Bihar was people get really kicked about English. So people can actually call upon a number and the IVR will teach them. Suprabhat ko English mein kehte hai, good morning, beep ke baad aap bole good morning. So the guy says good morning with some diction, learns it, goes and speaks to Sarpanji saying that, good morning Sarpanji. And the guy says, yaar tune Angrezi kahan se sikhi? He says, Godrej ne sikhaya. That's how we build advocates on a $1 phone, right? So sonic creativity, AI, and meaningful campaigns which are creatively charged is super critical for any technology to make a play in a consumer space or a retailer space, right? Let's just go and get more worlds to collide. If creativity collides with AI, what are the kind of mind-blowing campaigns which pops in? So this is one of the conference. In fact, the Amazon conference where we released a report, our voice and audio report, I took a punt and I said, this is COVID phase, there are 600 people on the call, we've got lesser number here. But 600 people on the call, I said, no, let me get my AI to run an output and unveil the report, right? And I'll do something more meaningful. So I went there, I launched my AI, and he unveiled the report successfully. Like in 7 minutes, it covered everything on the call, and everyone actually thought it's me talking. This is again 1.5 years back, right? Then I revealed my language models. So my models talking in various languages in multiple conferences, and we have live use cases up here now. So what I'm trying to tell you is we are prototyping a lot of these solutions, and we are going out there using forums like these, and we are showing it to an external world. We're getting the top CMOs on the stage and giving a perspective in terms of how this can be used for a brand comms. And there goes a lot of these campaigns which are getting deployed, right? Now, this campaign doesn't need any introduction. Shah Rukh Khan, not just a Cadbury ad. So synthetic clone characters of celeb was always around. Like I said, 2.5 years back, I cloned my own. But what made this so popular than the first campaign which we did, the first clone ever was Hrithik Roshan, right? The time spent then was about 30 minutes, which is being brought down to 5 minutes now. In certain cases, it's a crawl on the web and you are able to create those characters. What made this such a raging success? India won its first Titanium Lions on this campaign is the sheer creativity which WPP brought in on this particular campaign and gave the power to the retailers to go out there and create their own ads. Likewise, the work which we did on Coca-Cola with Brett Lee, we made him to speak Hindi in a very, very cool way, right? Not taking away the essence of Brett Lee from his personality, but still Brett Lee being there and trying to, have a communication with audiences. Let's just move ahead. So if you ask me, those things were like more versions where you were just toiling with AI, only certain keywords were being used to build some level of personalization. Now we moved full on, like full scale, right? So watch this first campaign where the AI engineered character of Ravi Shastri was connected to an LLM, and the interface, what we land for consumer, is always friction free. So either it's a simple QR code scan or it's WhatsApp. WhatsApp in India sits at 580 million, 650 million smartphone users in India. So that's pretty much the hub when it comes to deploying campaigns for us, right? So a lot of our 1PD strategy, as the world moved towards the ID-less environment, more and more brands are now gunning for 1PD. And the guys out of those 1PD who have elevated to 5G superhighways need to be given a super duper experience out there. So all that's 2D will transform to 3D. And all these characters or celebrity bots need to have a soul, an LLM talking to them, which is engineered on top of those brand guidelines, so they start making a lot of sense while they're having conversations. If you've heard the recent announcement, most of these AI engineered character would have a clear call out that this particular character is going to be, it's AI engineered, right? It'll be visible on the screen. It's no more a factor of novelty that I'm seeing Shah Rukh Khan talking at me. The novelty value is gone, which means the true value is here to get realized. But things are going to be called out. But when you are talking and the consumer is interacting with a celebrity bot, you're going to derive a lot of value out of it. And that's what success would look like in this particular era, right? Let's see this example.
Call your boss in a croaky voice and tell them you're feeling under the weather.
You got it right? So it's connected to an LLM. You pretty much go out there, ask any question. He's going to answer back. What happens behind the scene is a render which comes through ChatGPT with a very strong profanity layer on input and output. So when a consumer is asking a negative keyword, gets weeded out, comes out, text gets rendered to video, and consumer gets that seamless experience. From the bots, which were like the old school bots who were just greeting you, now it's a full-blown conversation. Can you now pick up these bots using the AR stack and place them in certain environments and have a live dialogue with them? Answer is a big yes. This is our second version of this campaign.
As fit as a cricket ball in a bowler's hand, my friend. Ready to play a game of golmaal with me today?
Something like you've been bowled a googly, aren't you? Just like a slow ball on a flat pitch.
Got it. Again, I prototyped this in one of the conferences where people could just scan the QR code, invoke my AI-powered hologram, and pretty much ask anything, and he's going to answer back. Obviously, I trained it on top of XR, which is my favorite subject. So every consumer who's elevated to 5G superhighways, marketers will need to have an XR strategy to counter them or to build experiences out there. So my clone, which is what I'm going to ask you to scan a QR code and invoke and have conversations with, it's all about fitness, hula hooping, and XR. So you ask any question, it's going to engineer and give you quirky responses around it, right? Now, what is AI here for? What is something we couldn't do in marketing in the old days? We can now do it by supercharging a consumer experience or a retailer experience out there, which was something which was a remotest dream in the past, is now become a reality, and you can do so much with it. So initial journey for us was all about text, voice, and video. We used to create a purity check on some client's website, or people used to go punch in anything, it used to go to GPT, and the response used to get rendered, right? Or our work on audio, Mondele's birthday song. You guys must have followed it. Like 17 different instruments. People can go and render a song out there. But we said consumer is already super sharp. They can pay about $10 and elevate to GPT-4 and access all this on their own. What is that you can do which consumer couldn't do in the spaces otherwise? There's where we leaned back on external collaboration and got multiple platforms to mash with each other and render these kind of experiences, right? This is an experience where you can see pretty much a hoarding of Ravi Shastri, scan, carry him home, place him wherever you want to, and ask a question, he's going to answer back, right? And that too very brand-centric, right? Another thing we did, which is one of my favorite use case for Unilever, is we supercharged the Unilever Shikhar app, which is for their retailer ecosystem. And we gave power to the retailers, unlike Shah Rukh Khan, which was more like tactical and Diwali focused. This gives power to all the retailers to go out there and create their own Arshad ads. And just see the render. What makes this really beautiful is the ability to render this in less than 1 minute and various parameters. So if you want to give, say, X% discount as a retailer on XYZ Unilever brand, you can just go out there and disseminate it, right? So this is a quick render and output.
नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब। मैं हूं अरशद वारसी। बड़े पर्दे पर मैंने आपको हंसाया है, थोड़ा बहुत रुलाया भी है, लेकिन आज मैं बताने आया हूं आपके पसंदीदा नजदीकी स्टोर पांडुरंग किराना के बारे में। जी हां, वही स्टोर जहां से आप अपने घर का जरूरी सामान खरीदते हैं। एक बात बताऊं, आपके पसंदीदा पांडुरंग किराना में 3 रोजेस, बूस्ट, ब्रू, हेलमेंस पर चल रहे हैं ढेर सारे ऑफर्स। इन प्रोडक्ट्स पे पाइए 10% तक की छूट। बचत करना समझदारी है। और आप?
So pretty much 5 different variables. Kedar made a very interesting post on LinkedIn, which you should check in terms of what has he done for the retailer community using this. But again, like I said, sky is the limit for any retailer facing or consumer facing marketing campaigns. You got to keep creativity and AI at heart and supercharge these experiences out there, right? One of such experience, which is my personal favorite, is by one of our global colleagues, one of my most favorite colleagues who worked on this at AKQA. And just watch this use case to believe that this really happened. I would love to do these kind of cases in times to come for Indian marketers. Let's go for this.
Since its beginning, Nike applied data from athletes to innovate its products, helping everyone to perform faster, higher, stronger, more accurate, and free. But what does it take to master all skills, to stay on top not for years, but for decades? Under Nike's 50th anniversary, we studied the greatest athlete of all time, the one that stood on top for more than 20 years, and transformed this data into a live entertainment event. This is Never Done Evolving, featuring Serena from 1999, the year she won her first Grand Slam, against Serena from 2017, the year she won her 23rd Grand Slam. Based on archival footage, machine learning was able to model each era's playing style. Decision-making, shot selection, reactivity, recovery, and agility. The virtual match was created by building on the bid-to-player technique developed by Stanford University. The result was seeing both Williams play herself in 130,000 games.
We're all extremely passionate about sport. When we look at the data we capture, there's beauty in that. The lines and curves, it's like a symphony.
The game was launched as a live event, narrated by Josh Appel, tennis main narrator during Serena's era.
In tennis, there are no bigger dream matches than this one. 1 Grand Slam title against 23 Grand Slam titles.
The results surpassed nearly all Nike's YT benchmarks, spreading through all media courts.
This level of excellence, it kept over so many decades, is just absolutely astounding.
But you remember the feeling she gave you. The inspiration she gives to so many players and so many fans is what her legacy will be, and it's what's created.
Yeah. I feel it's more of like an evolution of Serena.
So this was a fabulous work from AKQA, right? And that's how we are pushing the boundaries. We are getting to learn from each other as part of this creative tech practice, which is being driven from our CTO's office in London and really rock solid, backed by our leadership in India. It's really helping us learn from each other across markets and then cultivate a sense of mind-blowing culture wherein we get these really talented people together and deploy these campaigns at scale. Let me just go next and to my most favorite topic, and what I keep saying as consumers get elevated to 5G superhighways and they're walking with 200,000 Mbps on their handheld, every marketer needs to have an XR strategy, which would mean everything that's 2D has to transform to 3D in some form, right? And that is what we are all gunning for. So when world of AI collides with the world of XR, the existing practices which we've been privy to, like something like augmented reality, would get completely supercharged. You'll be able to do some mind-blowing stuff using augmented reality when the computing goes up, right? Let's just have a quick check. This is my current presentation at Fiki Frames this year. I was demonstrating this technology. Watch this.
As WPP and Group M India's emerging tech lead, I invite you all to our session, Shaping the Future of Creativity in the Digital Age. Explore the transformative power of AI in content creation and the immersive experiences reshaping digital landscapes. So join us from March 5th to 7th in Mumbai for an enlightening exchange on innovation and creativity.
All right, let me just go back. All right, quick one. So what I did here is pretty simple. I've got platforms. I can AI engineer pictures in runtime in my experience centers. My clones exist, like I said, in that too, in various language models. So a simple picture click and my clone voice is already being cloned. What I asked the audience is to just scan a QR code. And I was holding that particular print and people could see a mixed reality kind of an experience where I am holding this and the conversations are happening, right? My larger vision when I was thinking about campaigns like this is to integrate it with influencer marketing. Now look at this. Influencers today are going crazy in terms of creating content. They sleep with a lot of stress. What will I create tomorrow? Some people are in fact dying, sadly, you know. I read some news about some lady who was trying to click a video and she fell down the cliff and stuff like that, right? So one of the killer insight here is either you can pay these influencers and tell them, create a brand storytelling for me. It's pretty easy. We've been doing it for years. That's classic influencer marketing. Or you invest in a tech experience where they start talking. कि यार रणवीर के साथ वीडियो बनाया कि नहीं? 100 million in earned media. Watch this. All right, let's just go next. So you got the gist, right? The ability of these paper cutouts to become super duper active and influencers in their community start talking.
So join us from March 5th.
Okay, let me go ahead. Okay, perfect. And the influencers start talking that, dude, have you created a content with Ranveer or not? And that's how it goes viral in the community. Everyone picks up a paper saying that, see, Ranveer mere saath baat kar raha hai. Fans are going crazy. So what have we done? We have just invoked a simple experience from technology lens, but it's really resonating with consumers out there. And it's really resonating with the comms which Ranveer was saying, right? Atta and no maida, which means you are talking to this, which is like a cutout. Everything resonated really well creatively, and that's what allowed us to scale this campaign. A lot of brands have done it, but this one really stuck with the influencers out there. Now, can you get Ranveer out of the newspaper in the physical space and co-create content? The answer is a big yes. Hey, watch my hologram. This was at Aditya Birla's Pivot conference a couple of weeks back.
Hello, everyone.
It's my hologram,
Today
right?
We're going to talk about a very interesting
it loads. I wasn't there. He was doing the session.
On volumetrics. So what you see me right now, I'm inside a volumetric studio, which allows me to create a 3D render of me and use it for various purposes. So for me, it's going to be more knowledge sharing, but look at how we can leverage it for marketers.
So you got the gist, right? Papers are talking. The characters from the paper, Ranveer Singh can come in here, and both of us can co-create content. So all I'll do is get him to a volumetric studio facility and record a hookup step, for all you know. There goes influencer, scanning him, invoking him in 3D. For all you know, he can be live for a Q&A on top of a Coke can. Now, another thing which really fascinated me in this XR space is the ability to train your own digital person, right? So I coded my first when WPP announced a partnership with Epic Games. So on Unreal Engine, 80 of our guys in my team, we underwent a training, quick 3 months training, and I could render my own meta-human, which is this guy out here, right? So I was backstage. This was a Martech conference. I was backstage holding a mobile console, and he was in there. I was talking. He was talking with all emotes and stuff like that, right? And then the digital person. So Soul Machine is a super duper company which kind of specializes in rendering digital humans. So in one of the conferences, I got my friends That's Ghazal from Nestle, Soumya from Pepsi, that's Shankar from Perfetti, and that's Kalpana. She was the fourth panelist. And we had a seamless conversation. So I ask a question to Shankar, he points it at Kalpana, and Kalpana is also giving a perspective. So it was so nicely done. So for audience, now you'll ask me, why do you do all this? For an audience, they are getting to see a technology in the conference room, which is live and kicking, with top marketeers on the panel sharing a perspective on how this can be leveraged by advertisers, community at large. That's the level of impact which gets created. Here's another one, that's me, and that's my meta-human, because I'm wearing those Movella sensor gears behind my jacket, and I move, and he moves with me. Here I was being joined by Prashant, Burger King CMO, and we were trying to create an immersive gaming kind of an experience on the stage live with a lot of tech stacks surrounding us. And as one of its most marquee use case on 5G was a fan meet which Airtel did. Did you guys follow that? So typically, on a 4G or a 3G highway, a fan meet happens over a call where someone calls and tells, Harsha Bhogle sir, Virat aisa khela hota to match jeet jate hain. From there, meta-humans of fans were popping in live, and they were having a live gamification on the studio environment. So that's one of its kind 5G use case which was being delivered on top of Epic Games and Unreal Engine, which is what I was evangelizing by creating meta-humans, running a lot of shows out there. Right? So it opens up a lot of conversations within the marketeers community, and it helps you land a lot of those campaigns out there. Yeah, with this, I would say time up, and sky is a limit when it comes to creativity, and we are here to support technology to make those creative dreams a reality. With that, I would say thank you so much, and I would love to engage with you in subsequent session in a more immersive way. Thank you, guys. Was this useful? Can we take one question, if Mithali permits that?
Now that we are picking the whole best thing and we are making a kind of combine the best effort, like you want to say tennis or those guys. Now, when we do start doing it, actually we are making a lot of superlative things, but does not stopping the real creativity, because which is coming in new, fresh ideas, fresh things, kind of with the using a human intelligence, which is not actually stopping it. Because now, after I'm using a ChatGPT, I'm not actually thinking anything. For even a draft a letter, what I do is I just go put it and doing it. I stopped actually writing.
So that's exactly what you did in the calculator era. No? You were like sitting and calculating. Now you have a calculator. So what I'm trying to say is man-machine will coexist in times to come. Machine is only going to help you enhance your creativity. Human creativity would sit on top of AI. Till today, can anyone just use AI to write a spot-on comms?
See, I appreciate the technology. I am not actually saying that it is not good or anything, nothing that. But are we not over-depending? Like now, for a simple thing I'm telling you, like every one of us, now, drafting a letter, we stopped actually thinking, writing a letter on our own.
Got it, yeah. So this is the dependency is there, but if you ask me, dependency is for the good. This will only enhance your capabilities to write beautiful letters, more meaningful letters. I see people in my circle of friends, I was just getting my interiors done, and suddenly my carpenter started sounding like a Harvard graduate, you know, like proper email. I appreciate it. I was like, he's going to charge me more. But no, he was the same guy. But he was making a lot of sense out there. But yeah, to me, if I were to answer your perspective, that's happening. But that's for our good. But individuals will take it in their own ways, right?
This question.
Like the next 3 slides were like traumatizing. If I would have gone there, good I stopped it. Yeah,
question,
please.
So firstly, thank you. It was very eye-opening. I think we are not, maybe there's some CMOs here, but most of the people here are from research organizations or analytics organizations. So from that perspective, what are some requests from creators or agencies regarding AI and this type of stuff, interactive, to research agencies, A? And B, is this something that we can take back in our work while we are analyzing customer data or media data or any other type of insights?
So yeah, when it comes to the research fraternity, do we have Puneet in the room from Kantar? I just met, So with Puneet, I think Puneet is my only go-to guy. All my exposure and learning which I have in your fraternity, market research fraternity, only comes in from Puneet and Hemant then, right? So there's one of the things which I am super kicked about is this entire aspect of language translation, right? So government is spending about 100 crore on a 40-day project on NLT, Natural Language Transmission Mission, where they are using a lot of bunch of tech stack. Even Satya Nadella was talking about the Bhashini service. So that's another experience which I have added to our experience center now, where clients would just walk in. I'll have one guy who's talking in English, and clients could pick up the headphone, and in runtime, they will get to hear it in Bengali, Kannada, and various other markets, right? So typical research which we do right now, and the telephonic research which is happening, and Puneet and me we have collaborated on a platform called M-Sampark, which is what we used for a lot of our research requirements in micro nano markets. If I overlay this particular stuff, which is version 2 of what we are doing with M-Sampark, it'll allow our guy to pretty much, it'll solve for a lot of issues, right? You are spending a lot of money right now on a person or resource who can speak language with correct diction, understand guys sitting in various markets, and conclude that study. This platform will pretty much enable them to conclude the study with a less labor-intensive kind of a job, is what I would say. And in the market research space, I think AI will play a predominant role. Not that I've put my heads onto it, because all my energy goes into solving marketers' problem and to elevate consumer experience, like I keep saying, right? So what I'm solely focused on doing is trend spotting and trend shaping. So if it's synthetic AI, and if I clone, say, 35 odd celebrities, for me, it's no more, it's mainstream. So I would again go into blue oceans, try and figure out some of the market trends and try and shape them. Do I fail? I think I fail more than I succeed. Most of the times, my campaigns don't do well, right? But we learn from it, and then we work towards it. So like our leadership also, Dale was here, Dale Immerman, our head of immersive technology. And what he kept calling out is test and learn, which is super duper critical for all marketers, right? So I'm not saying that we have a market research AI supercharged product ready in the market as we speak, but it's all evolving, and you will see a lot of such products also evolving with times for a market research needs. This is all pervasive. This is closer to us. It's not just got a UX, and it's not just getting consumer adoption, but it's going to actually solve for a lot of problems around us, right? Which were never possible all the while. Suddenly you will find out that, okay, now I can do it. So there is a need to collaborate with creative guys or research guys and evangelize and tell them this is the opportunity. This is my world and this is your world. When worlds will collide, you will have solutions coming out. That's why I think all my slides, every 2 slides, I'm getting some kind of a worlds to collide. You must be shaking up, but that's reality. Both the worlds, somewhere, they need to come together, and then the solutions would happen. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. One more? All right. Mitali says, bus. But I'll meet you now. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.